Think about the word design. For many of us, this word makes us think about how things look, or maybe how they feel or function. But generally, we think about the end result. We think about a product, a thing, and maybe a big thing like a bridge, or a small thing like a phone. But we usually think of a tangible object. One thing this understanding of design excludes is the fact that design is a deeply human endeavor. And not just because humans use designed things. The design process involves empathy, inspiration, creativity, critical thinking. In short, some of the reflective mindsets and embodied skills at the heart of the human interaction. So if we move from focusing on the end result of design to considering the problems that design can solve, we come to what is often called design thinking.
Design thinking is a process that relies heavily on understanding the problems that humans face and designing solutions to address those problems. While sometimes the solutions are products, design thinking is also used to create better services and experiences. Despite this human-centered approach to innovation, design thinking has been critiqued for ignoring the complex socio-political contexts that are, of course, deeply human. In response, emerging design methodologies have been developed that not only innovate within these socio-political contexts, but that seek to counter inequity and design for human flourishing. For example, liberatory design centers equity and supports us to design for liberation. Design justice is an approach to design led by marginalized communities that aims explicitly to challenge, rather than reproduce, structural inequalities. Participatory design focuses deeply on co-design, on designing with, not for, the people who will use the product or service, and often seeks to include those who have been excluded from the design process. Open Design, developed at the Open Design Studio at Duke University, is situated within these critical design approaches.
Open design is an equity-centered innovation methodology that has 4 iterative phases, each framed through a key question. Understand, empathize, and define. What are the key needs, desires, and hopes of the community? Create, ideate, and prototype. What are the radical ways we can build to share? Evaluate, test, and iterate. What are experiments we can run to move forward? Share, reflect, and connect. What are we noticing, contributing, and communicating? Inspired by the principles and practices of open source software and communities, Open Design situates active inclusivity, transparency, and collaboration at the heart of the innovation process. So why does learning open design matter?
Well, one reason is that unless we seek a more inclusive and equitable design process, we're at grave risk of reproducing and further calcifying discrimination, even when it is not our intent to do so. For example, think of our own positionality at Duke University. We often strive with genuine authenticity to positively impact Durham and other regional communities. But how often do we propose and develop solutions to complex problems without significant, or sometimes any, co-design participatory practices with the people who will be directly affected? How often do we neglect the lived experiences of others? And what happens when we do? Consider this example from Design Justice. The author discusses their lived experience with airport security scanners having a disproportionate discriminatory effect on transgender people. The author explains that this effect is due to socio-technical configuration of gender normativity, cisnormativity, or the assumption that all people have a gender identity that is consistent with the sex they were assigned at birth, that has been built into the scanner. In other words, because scanners and accompanying surveillance algorithms are designed primarily by cisgender people, scanners sound the alarm when they detect a so-called anomalous body type.
Also, learning open design helps students develop the critical, creative, and courageous thinking skills and habits of mind necessary to thrive in and positively impact our complex world. No matter what jobs you seek or passions you pursue, it will be necessary to use divergent understanding to empathize across diverse opinions and lived experiences, as well as convergent analysis to define pressing problems, and ideation to find inspiring solutions alongside prototyping to test and iterate quickly and with reflective purpose. 21st century problems demand that we move beyond 20th century modes of thinking, doing, and creating, and open design can help us get there.